thought, I guess, as a message to the group post game after a loss like that?
Probably as a footy club and and as a group of players and coaching staff, just stay the course and hang in there. We played against an opponent today who, strangely enough, the whole footy world was up in arms about where Adelaide was positioned 2 or 3 years ago, and we're in a very, very similar boat to where they were, and you can just see the evolution of their side. They've got some really, really good players. They have, I wouldn't so much call it luck, but they add to their group. In the last couple of years, they've added to their group with Rankin and Dawson. One ends up being captain of their club, and the other is a very, very special player. And are probably two of their best 5 players, I would imagine. And they've got some other very, very good players that are just starting to emerge for them. Like Darcy Fogarty, for instance. A really good player now, but it took him a long time to get going. So we just know where we're at as a footy club. Thought we competed a lot better today. We were more consistent in our effort across the 4 quarters. They were just too strong and powerful for us in the air. Chances that we had to halve a contest, whether that was in our, the defenders outmarked our forwards on crucial contests. In the middle of the ground, they took marks where we should have been able to halve the contest, and in their front end, we just couldn't get the ball to ground often enough. I think they took 23 contested marks to our 7 for the day. That was particularly strong early. So when you can't halve those aerial contests, when you've got a play on those in terms of being in the contest itself, that 50-metre play for Adelaide turns into a 100-metre plus play. And it's very, very difficult to defend those, and we found that really tough today. And I thought that was really the difference in the two sides.
How do you turn that around as a coach? Is that a thing you look to work on at training? Is it experiencing the more games these guys play? Is it a mindset? Like, what do you put that down?
Well, we've got we haven't got a tall side, and the ones that are tall are reasonably inexperienced, particularly behind the ball. So we're trialling Charlie Comben as a key back for us. He's played 4 games in the back end, and it's been pretty good for us, to be fair. But he's just learning the cape. Biggie Nguyen's played 3 games of AFL footy in the back end, and still learning the caper. So some of it is just harsh lessons to be learnt, and the football world will be saying, we need to be better. We know that, but we just need to give them more and more opportunities to actually just understand the angles to cut, the leading patterns that they need to, like, as we talked about Fogarty, but Taylor Walker's been playing for, I don't know, 14th or 15th year or something like that. Great player, strong, smart. And these guys just need to get exposure to play on those guys. Our front half isn't particularly tall. With Coleman Jones going out with that Achilles, and we've been playing Paul Curtis and Cam Zurha, who are real warriors for us and actually compete really, really strongly in the air. But they are undersized in terms of key forwards. So we're a little bit undermanned in that space and need to go to the draft. We have done so with a couple of kids that are going to come through for us, but it's just going to take a little bit of time. And we're prepared to be patient. I know the football world and even our own supporters want results quicker than this, and we're hoping that it'd come quicker. But it doesn't surprise us. It's just like you got to do the tough yards, and whether it's what Brisbane have done over the last 5 or 6 years. Or what Adelaide's done over the last 2 or 3. Before that, what Melbourne had done. Before that, what Hawthorn had done. What Carlton are now doing. For a long period of time there, the Blues were just, are they ever going to get back up to the top again? But things evolve, things change, and as long as we stick fat as a footy club and a group of players, then we'll be okay.
So your clearance work and contested balls with early, and then were able to turn that into some good play in the last quarter. Are those the little wins you have to look at as a coach, as a group post game to see the improvement is coming? Yeah, and like even George Wardlaw as an example. He lowered his colours in the first half, but then came back and made a much stronger contribution in the second half against a pretty experienced and mature pure midfield. You got the Crouches and the Dawsons and the Lairds and these type of guys, and we've got Will Phillips and Tom Powell and
Dersma and Sheasel played a fair bit in there in the second half, and we're just trying to give these lads exposure to pretty experienced and mature bodies. O'Brien was a really important player for him. Big X, our ruck, has been a really good player for us this year, but he probably lowered his colours to O'Brien today. I thought O'Brien was a terrific player for them and gave those guys first supply of the footy by and large. It's just getting them the exposure that they need, and so they're just the little wins that you're searching for. Can you, despite the game slipping away from us, can you still win a quarter? We managed to win the last quarter, for instance. When you're a fair margin behind at 3/4 time, it's just so easy just to let that game slip altogether, and it ends up being a 80 point drubbing. But to just put a bit of respectability back into the scoreboard by managing to kick 12 goals ourselves just suggests that the players didn't give up, and they still fought the game out.
Mentioned Sheasel there. Is the next step in his game to spend more time in that midfield? We're seeing how damaging he's been across half back and how impressive he's been, but do you expect him to play more midfield minutes along with this season goes on?
We're not certain. The really difficult dilemma for a club and a coaching group and a playing group when we're in the position that we're in is just, you've got 18 spots on the field, and you like to be just bit by bit saying, yep, that one's settled and that one's going okay. And over the last 30 games of footy, Shees has been able to just solidify his spot there, and our preference was going to be to try to consolidate his spot there for the first half of this year anyway. And because if we move him and then he's got to learn his craft at another position, which will end up happening, and I've got no doubt it's going to happen at some point in time, but just for now, it's just like it gives us some stability in our back end with him playing there. But as we've done over the last 2 weeks, we've moved him into the midfield when we've needed him to, and he's done okay there. And once again, his evolution will be to get exposure to that part of the ground. But when we move him, it actually hurts us in our back end too. So we've just got to work out what's best for the side at any given moment.
Yeah, you mentioned the lessons that the young groups sort of take out of something like today, and through the course of a year, how do you as a coach sort of, I guess, keep a young group like mentally positive and upbeat?
Well, to talk to them exactly the way now. I mean, some in the football world think that you need to actually jump up and down, and it's just be philosophical about it, about the position that we're in. We know we need to get better, but some of it is just time. As I said, we've got plenty of experience at our club to know what the pathway is. As I said, there's plenty of examples of clubs that are now playing some really, really strong footy. One of those opponents was today in Adelaide, and they're not there yet either as a side. I think they've only won 2 or 3 games themselves, so they're yet to evolve fully. But we can see where their trajectory is going, and full credit to them that they've done the hard yards, and hopefully for that club, they get themselves back into contention in the next few years, because that then gives hope for clubs like us to say, yep, that is the pathway for us. And as we acknowledge, whether it was Brisbane with Charlie Cameron and Lachie Neale, or whether it's Adelaide with Dawson and Rankin and these type of guys, you need a little bit of luck with your recruiting and that sort of stuff, that you can attract some players along the way. It's not just going to come through the draft for us, but we know that the path that we're on, and we know we've just got to continue to have faith in these guys, and just tell them just keep forging ahead. Don't give up. Keep trying, and we'll get there in the long run.
His ability to battle in what was a pretty adventure-like midfield from Adelaide with Dawson and lead up on LDU was really strong today for you guys. And just played consistent across the 4 quarters. You got a heavy knock early in the game too, which hampered him a little bit, but he got going again, and I thought he was a really consistent contributor over the 4 quarters, and he was a shining light for us. He's very, very important player to our structure, but we're really pleased with his contribution today. 32 disposals from Colby McKercher. Was that his best game in an all-jumpers?
Yeah, I think so. So there, once again, you're searching for the positives. Dersma played a game a little bit closer to goal today, and there was times, probably 3 or 4 times, where he got outmarked, and Well, once again, it's just a learning experience for him. But he kicked a couple of goals, set up a couple more, and he did some really exciting things for us forward of the footy. And they're the things for our supporters. Just say we can see some things there. They're not there yet. They're just doing it in patches of games. But if we can get them to do that more consistently and just get the exposure, we could really easily just play these kids in the VFL and just wait for them to get better by just playing VFL footy. But we're firmly of the view that give them the exposure to the AFL, and that might hurt us a little bit in terms of scoreboard just now. But the sides that have invested heavily in their young players usually get some sort of reward for it at the back end, and that's my experience, and that's the philosophy of our footy club as well.
No injuries out of
No, I think we'll come out of the game okay.